You're gonna take this into the glass and you're gonna push it into the felt over here. Hi, this is Drew at the Jeep Farm. I want to show you this cool little 1967 Jeep. This Jeep belongs to Gary down in southern Arizona, and this Jeep back in the day obviously was a show Jeep and was in magazines. Gary bought a brand new 1967 Jeep here in Phoenix. He stripped it and turned it into this show Jeep. And it's really cool because he bought it red because this is 1967 GTO Verduro green. And the way they painted the GTOs back in the day was they used a red oxide primer. And he knew that, so he started with a red Jeep so that he had the correct base for the paint. This Jeep spent a lot of years outside deteriorating. Gary let all three of his boys drive the Jeep to high school when each one of them got old enough. Everybody went off, had kids and families, and the Jeep got neglected. And the boys got together and decided that they wanted to restore the Jeep that they all grew up in so that their kids could all grow up in the same family Jeep. So we've brought this Jeep back to life. We're almost finished with it. We got a few little touches we need to put on it. Give it a final buff. It needs a radiator and a couple other things, and we're pretty much done with it. Repaired all the rust on it, went back to original, and just like Gary did it, we did it in a red oxide primer. And then instead of a single stage, we actually used a base clear 1967 GTO green called Verduro green. Has the same suspension it did back in the day. We did a disc brake conversion. It's got Shelby Racing mag slot wheels, which are super cool and rare. Gary, when he built the Jeep originally, had a 327 camel hump motor installed, brand new from the dealership. The craftsmanship is amazing. We see a lot of Jeeps here that come in, grandpa's Jeep, dad's Jeep, I bought off eBay, I bought off Craigslist, and they're pretty rough built, and this craftsmanship that was done in this Jeep was impressive to say the least, even in the shape in which we got it. I mean, she was worn out, sun beaten and tired. So we have completely restored it back to the way it was in 1967. The only differences we did was we did a disc brake conversion and modern radial tires. His first set of tires he had on this Jeep were actually carved airplane tires, which they used to run back in the day when they were four-wheeling. So open the hood here and remember that we've been working on this, so she's a little dusty. So here's the 327 camel hump. Completely rebuilt the motor back to its original specs, which is a 330 horse, 330 foot-pound torque motor. It's got hooked to a T10 4-speed, hooked to the Model 18 transfer case with a Warn overdrive. Everything's been rebuilt. The only thing you can see, we did add a Howell fuel injection to the Jeep. So we've upgraded that to make it a little easier to drive. Again, needing a small body distributor in order to clear the firewall, we went with an MSD billet. The MSD billet requires an MSD 6AL box and a coil. So there's a little upgrade there. She's gonna make a little more power than she did back in the day. One of the other cool things about this Jeep is Gary has side exit exhaust, so it comes out and then it's got chrome caps you can unhook to run open headers, and then exhaust, which will jump out in front of the spare tires. And I kept the exhaust, so when we take it back to the exhaust shop, I can have Jesus, our muffler guy, build it exactly like it was back in the day with the removable caps to make it sound like a drag car. Gonna be super cool when it's finished. And again, thoroughly impressed with the work that was done, and this can be one bad little ride that will stay around and the family will enjoy forever. So again, keeping with the theme of the original Jeep, we wanted to do pretty much everything exactly like it was, again with a few improvements. Gary back in the day made this custom dash and actually had a set of old school Stewart green lines in it. And we were kind of lucky because Stewart Warner just came back out with the gauges again and are reproducing the gauges that they made back in the 60s. So these look just like the 60s gauges, but are modern. Even the speedometer's got a digital pickup. It doesn't use a cable anymore. Reupholstered the seats back to original. Gary's wife made these pads and we even restitched those back. Like I say, it's all pretty much the way it was, other than in the glove box, you've got your fuel injection controls hidden away. And we got a couple more knobs to find. And you can see all the chroming we did. That's pretty much it. I mean, this is a really, really neat Jeep and a cool family story, and I'm thrilled to share it with you guys.
Speed, camera on slate. Roll B, scene B2, take one, Mark.
Action!